Tribe, it's your girl Naja here, and I am back with another video. Apologies in advance if my nose is a little red. Some of you guys know I am sick right now, and I was like, you know what, when you're feeling like shit, at least try to not look like shit. So I decided to actually do my makeup today. You know, progression, we're getting somewhere. So this is going to be a story time video. Oh, and again, sorry if I'm a little bit tired. I don't know, maybe I'll like hype up later on in the video, but I'm on some medicine right now. I'm trying to get better, XYZ, blah 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 blah. So this is gonna be a story time video. I do not believe I told this story time video on like a formal setup. I'm pretty sure I have told it on a live stream before, but I've never really sat down and told this story. And it's about when my bike got stolen. And I know you may see that title and think like it's something so juvenile, but like shit just like escalated out of nowhere. There's gonna be like somewhat of a plot twist at the end. If you guys are down for shit like that, please give this video a big thumbs up. And yeah, let's just get it started. This happened when I want to say when I was around like either, I want to say I was 18 or maybe 17. I'm not really sure. I want to say I was either 17 turning 18, one of those ages. And I was going through a hippie phase, and I was just all about tie-dye and psychedelics and 60s bands and stuff like that, going to festivals. Like I was just on some major hippie shit. Like I love patterns, and complete opposite of what I am now, but hey, we're all young, you know, we have little interests and phases that we all go through. And I really wanted a beach cruiser, but I really wanted like a bright yellow beach cruiser with like a basket, or maybe like a baby blue beach cruiser. Like I wanted something on that range, but you know, nobody was about to buy me no beach cruiser. I had to have been 17, because why the fuck else would I be riding a goddamn bike? Because I got my first car when I turned 18, so I had to have been 17. But yeah, I really wanted a bike, like super bad. If you guys keep up my story times, you know I used to live on like a service road of some sort. Like there's a main highway and then there's like a little service road. I used to live on that, and there was one neighborhood in particular on this service road that was like just hood for no reason, but you wouldn't think it's hood because it was condos, but it's just like just hood for no fucking reason. And my little brother and his friends were going outside one day, and they were in that neighborhood, and that neighborhood was the only neighborhood that did not have like a trash relay. So if you had trash, a lot of people would go there and throw their shit away. So my brother saw a bike there, and he saw it was a beach cruiser, and the only thing wrong with it was that the chain was rusted. So he brought it back home to me, and he was like, hey, I know this isn't the right color that you want, but it's a beach cruiser, bitch. And I was just so excited. I thanked him. The beach cruiser was, okay, red flag. The beach cruiser was spray painted black, so I knew that it was stolen from somebody. Like, and then the chain popped, and then they were like, fuck it, and then they threw it away because it was spray painted black. It's not like it was like painted black originally from wherever the fuck it was bought from. Oh my god, side note, not to get distracted, but guys, have you ever had a stuffy nose with a septum ring? It's the most uncomfortable feeling on the planet. So basically all I had to do was get a new chain. So my ex or whatever, L, he was good with like bikes and stuff like that, and in his brain he thought he was good with cars, but I had so many stories on this dude, how he done messed up my car, but I'm just like kind of over talking about him at this point. Like, to be so real with y'all on this channel, like telling L stories are just so like played out to me at this point. You guys always want to hear them, but I'm just like over it. And like even when I first did start talking about him on this channel, it was kind of just like, you know, don't make the same mistake that I did, guys. But I feel like I've kind of got all of those main points out the way, so at this point it's just like, right. But anyway, I told him about my issue or whatever, and how I had a bike, I just needed a chain. So he went and he got me a chain. I don't know where he got it from or what, but he got a chain, hooked my bike up. So now I was mobile, I was riding my bike. When I tell you guys, I was burning mad calories on that fucking bike. I was riding my bike everywhere, like everywhere. But the one thing I did not get was an actual like safety chain for my bike, so when I was not on my bike, I could lock it up and go walk somewhere and then come and get my bike again. Like, that's something I didn't buy because I was 17. I did have a job and I did ride my bike to work, but even at work, like my boss or manager or whatever, this is the same boss manager from the frozen yogurt story, for any of my OG people out there. He would let me put my bike in the back or whatever, or he would let me put my bike in the front and we would just watch it. I never really took into account that, you know, bitch, you're not really protecting your bike. Like, you're really not. But I was always on the bike, and then I would put the bike on my patio when I wasn't using it. And like, finally one day my mom peeped the bike and was like,
where did you get the bike from?
And I was like, oh, you know, Kaz got it for me from a dumpster.
That's gross.
But I was happy because I love my little bike. You know, I'm riding my bike. I would ride my bike at night when I wasn't supposed to be out. Like, if I needed to go somewhere, if I needed to go pick up some weed or something, I'm on my bike. I'm riding in the streets. Like, I literally had such a lack of like, bitch, what are you doing? You are a young girl riding on this bike at night. Like, that bike was my bitch, okay? I love that bike, especially because it was a beach cruiser, and I was just so obsessed with the aesthetic and shit. Like, I was like, yes, I'm that hippie bitch on that beach cruiser. No matter how cringy it sounds, I'm being so real with you. Those were my thoughts. Today, I went to my ex's house. I would ride my bike to his house all the time because his car at the time, I don't know how he living now, but back then, he had like a piece of shit ass Cadillac that would like sometimes work, sometimes not work. So my bike always worked, bitch. I would ride to his house on my bike, maybe spend the night, keep the bike somewhere safe, and then dip, right? So this one day, I don't remember if I put my bike in front of his house, which I doubt because his mom had a motorcycle and she would put her motorcycle there. So I may have put it like on the back patio or something, and then, you know, we would go inside, do whatever we wanted to do, watch movies, whatever the fuck, and then, you know, wake up in the morning. Or if I really didn't want to spend the night and I wanted to go home, I would just leave. So one night in particular, it was nighttime. We both looked out on the patio because we were about to go smoke, and my bike was not there. My bike was not there, and I'm just like, maybe I put it around the corner, because, you know, high shit, you think, because we had smoked a blunt before that, so I was already high. So I'm in my high ass mind, I'm just like, oh well, maybe it's around the corner or something. So, you know, we go outside, it's nowhere, and I'm like, okay, well, that fucking sucks. I'm not about to walk home in the fucking dark, even though it's like, bitch, you were riding your bike in the dark, a black bike at that, where nobody can see you, you don't have any hazards, no nothing. But the logic, I was like, damn, well, now I can't walk home because it's dark as fuck, so now I gotta stay the night over at this nigga house, and then I gotta walk home in the morning. You know, I stayed the night at his house, and I walked home the next day, and I was just fucking pissed off because then after that, you know, I had to walk to work. I had to, because this is before Uber and all that shit was around. Like, Uber didn't come out until what? I was like 19 or so. Yeah, like literally right when I was around 19. When I was 17, there was no Uber. Like, you either knew a friend with a ride or you didn't. Taxi cabs are sketchy in my city, and if you going on the bus, you gonna have a story of your own. I have a whole story time about when I rode the bus in my city. It was like the worst date I was ever even on. Like, back when me and my ex first started talking. You guys go watch that. You guys seem to really like that story. For whatever, I like that story. I thought it was funny. Like, I like looking back on shit like that and laughing. But yeah, so like, taxi cabs were sketchy. You either had a friend with a ride or you didn't. And the buses were sketchy. So a lot of people I knew either skateboarded, had bikes, or walked. So I was walking. My ex's car was fucked up. He was taking the bus going to work, and he would walk to places. So we were both just footing it, bitch. And that shit sucked, how I had to walk to work like every day. And like, I remember going into work and like being sweaty and just hating it, and like having, like, I would have to bring like an extra work uniform if it was like whatever. And I remember I had to walk to work in the rain. Like, I was so pissed off that my bike was stolen. Like, I was so fucking pissed off at whoever the fuck stole my bike. But I was thinking about it, and I was like, you know what, maybe it went to somebody you know, who needed it. Just like the same how, like, you know, somebody threw away the bike before I got it, and then my brother gave it to me and I needed it, and I was like, you know what, even though I'm footing it, I hope whoever has my bike is getting the most use out of it. Do you, boo. It's all good. So I want to say like a month or so went by, maybe even longer than that, but I'm not gonna say anything crazy like 3 months, maybe like, I don't know. But I just know not a long time went by, but a long time enough for me to even forget about my bike. I went to my ex's house. I walked to his house. Or maybe I longboarded, I don't really remember, but I got to his house because I knew around the time when my bike did get stolen, my mom got me a longboard for Christmas. So I used to be so active, bitch. Like, what happened to me? What happened to me? I just got sober and just became like a little fucking slug. Like, I used to be so active, bitch. Hot ass, I used to be walking everywhere, riding bikes, longboarded places. Yeah, my mom got me a longboard, so I don't know how I got to his spot, but all I do is remember going to his place or his mom's place or whatever. We were chilling and you know, we were looking at our wallets. We're like, okay, do you want to go half and go get some weed or whatever? And we were gonna walk to the weed man's house. So you know, we're walking in the neighborhood. Mind you, his apartment was like at the front of his neighborhood, and in the front of his neighborhood was like the main street, and then across the street, you know, it had like Winn-Dixie and like all types of like little shopping centers and shit. So it was not a short walk to get out of the neighborhood. So we're walking out of the neighborhood. I'm talking to him about whatever the fuck I'm talking to him about, and all of a sudden he cuts me off and he's like,
"Isn't that your bike?"
And I'm like, what? He like points to across the street by like the Winn-Dixie parking lot, and it's a guy. He's obviously homeless, like obviously a homeless man, okay? Obviously homeless, dirty ass clothes, got a backpack, multiple bags on the handlebars, like obviously a homeless dude. And I'm like dissecting the bike. It is definitely my bike, same spray paint. And then the thing, even though I got a new chain for it, like the little thing surrounding the chain had like rust on it. So I knew that was my bike. Like it was definitely my bike. I was like, yo, that is my bike. Like, you're right, that's my bike.
Do you want me to get it for you?
And I couldn't even finish my sentence. I was like, I mean, starts going across the street. And I'm like, oh shit. So I stay where I'm at, right? He starts walking across the street, and I notice as he's getting closer to him, he starts digging. As my ex starts getting closer to the homeless man on my bike. Mind you, the homeless man is just cruising. He's just riding in circles, just cruising, like no care in the world. And then here comes my ex charging at him, going across the street. And I notice he goes into his pocket, and I'm like, what the fuck is this nigga doing? My ex then pulled out a fucking knife on this fucking homeless man. And I'm like, oh my God, oh my God. So I'm over here like shook, like I didn't want it to get to this point. So he gonna run up on the homeless man, and he put his knife out or whatever. And then the homeless man stops riding, and he notices my ex coming towards him. And all I hear is my ex yelling,
"That's not your bike, is it? That's not your bike, is it?"
And I'm just like, yo, what the fuck? Like, and honestly, in that moment, I was like, I would much rather the homeless man have it, because shit, like, I don't know, like, sure, I need to get to and from work with that bike, but I have 2 feet and I could walk, but you know, he has a lot of shit going on. He had like bags and shit on the bike. Like, this was probably helping him more than it was gonna help me get to and from work. I have a house that I could store all my belongings in. He obviously does not. Like, I could physically look at this man and tell that he's homeless. Like, so boom, my ex runs up on him talking about,
"Is this your bike? This ain't your bike, huh? This ain't your bike."
And the homeless man just literally pushes the bike on the floor and backs up like this, his hands up. Like, this man literally looks scared for his life. Like, and I'm just sitting here like, my nigga, what would you, okay. And if you've watched my story times, you know this is not the first time my ex decided he wants to pull a knife out on somebody and try to cut him. Like, but in my mind, I'm just like, yo, so what if this homeless man would not have thrown the bike on the floor? Like, you were really gonna cut this man up and get an assault charge or attempted murder, I'm not really sure, over a bike that I didn't even buy, that my brother found in a dumpster. You're gonna cut this nigga up, really? So, you know, dude goes like that, and he pushes the stuff on the floor. My ex kind of kicks the bags off of the handlebars and then picks it up and talks about,
"That's what I thought."
and then starts running my bike across the street to me. And he gives me the bike.
"I got your bike back."
Like, trying to be all like, look at me, look what I did for you. I got your bike back. And I'm just looking at him like, nigga, did you really just pull a knife on him over this fucking bike? You could have just went up to him and be like, hey, that's my girl's bike. Like, can I please have it back? But all that shit was just so unnecessary. I'm like, sir. So I'm rolling with him with the bike, and you know, he just changes the topic of discussion like that. And I'm just like, we're just gonna pretend like you did not just pull out a fucking knife on this homeless man.
"Okay, we're gonna ride your bike back to my house, and we'll, you know, put it inside the apartment until we come back, and once we come back from getting the tree or whatever."
Okay, you know? And I look back at the homeless man, and he's like gathering his shit up off the floor, and I'm feeling like I'm feeling so shitty, because a part of me wanted to go back and just give him the bike. Like, I really just wanted to give him the bike. And I knew if I would've, and it was so weird, because looking back, like, if I was the person I am now, even though I wouldn't be riding a bike around, like, well, I would, but you get what I'm saying. But being the person I am now, I probably would have been like, yo, that shit's not necessary, and I would have gave him his bike back. But back then, I was just like, yo, he just did all that shit for me to get my bike back, and I don't want no problems with him if I try to give the hobo the bike back. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna like move past it or whatever. But that shit really like rubbed me the wrong way, because I'm like, yo, I know in your brain that was a way of trying to be like noble or whatever, but at what cost? You just probably just made that man shit himself. You probably just, granted, he might never steal no fucking bike again, like, but what was, at what cost? Like, you literally just pulled a knife out on that man over a fucking free bike with rust on it, with spray. And then it's like, you know, that bike was stolen in the first place. Like, and that's what made, and that's one thing that I was thinking about when I remembered this story is like, what if somebody would have came up to me on that type of shit? Because that bike was spray painted black. It was obviously stolen. That's what you do when you steal bikes. You spray paint it a different color so nobody can come up to you on that shit. But there were some distinctive things about that bike that I could even spot out from across the street to let me know it was the same bike. Like, what if somebody came up to me on that shit and pulled a knife out on me and was like, give me the fucking bike? Like, would that be justified? Absolutely not. So how does doing that to the homeless man be justified? Like, just certain things that I think about when I think about that whole scenario, on how it like went 0 to 100 out of nowhere, like, and it wasn't even necessary. It did not even need to happen. I will say though, when you steal, do not linger around the crime scene. Like, he was very close to where I usually put my bike at. Like, I'm just saying, not saying he deserved it. I'm just saying, when you steal, do not linger near the crime scene. Like, don't. So, you know, update on that bike. I don't remember what happened to it, honestly. I think it might have gotten stolen again. And I think it actually got stolen off of my back porch the last time that I had it. And I never saw the bike again. And to be honest, I kind of felt like it was bad juju anyway. So I was like, whoever has that bike, good luck to you. Not gonna have my crazy ass ex pull a knife out on you. I hope it's getting you to and from where you need to be. And yeah, that's pretty much the story of my stolen bike incident that kind of went too far. Let me know if you guys have ever seen something that somebody has stolen from you. Like, say for instance, if you lose your phone and then somebody just want to whip your phone out in front of you. Let me know in the comments below. Let me know how you would have reacted if you were younger Nadja in that situation. Would you have confronted? Would you have let the hobo keep the bike, or would you have just like kept quiet out of a fear of retaliation? Like, what would you have done if you were 17-year-old Nadja in that situation? I would love to hear about it in the comments below. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.